Firepower. Yeah, this is the new Judas Priest record. This is their overall 18th studio album. Yeah, that's a lot. Yeah, and this album was, highly anticipated. It was hyped. Everybody was looking out for the new Judas Priest record, and now it's out. Well, it's actually out now for almost a week, but I had no time to record. I was not here. And I apologize if I cannot speak really properly, worse as usual, and that is not the best. But I have a bit of a full nose at the moment, so I cannot really speak that well. Even worse than usual. But yeah, we have the 18th overall studio album by Judas Priest. This is requested by Rockdoo. Yeah, of course, Judas Priest is a classic metal band from the 70s, the 80s, and with the 90s with their legendary Painkiller record, which is still, my favorite record by them. And probably everybody's favorite. It is a really popular record by the band. So this is a band that had 3 decades of success. That is really impressive. Yeah, and this is their 2010s output, with the Redeemer of Souls and Nostradamus actually being in 2009, I believe. Which were decent records as well, but this is definitely a bit of a, a literal Redeemer. Because this record is just it is so complete, I think. I had to get used to the album cover of it because it looks kind of incomplete in a way. It looks, kind of like a puzzle. You have kind of puzzle pieces together, but not all of them. Like you finished 50% of the puzzle, and then you trapped it on there, and you made it an album cover. It looks a bit like that. That's not an offense or something like that, but yeah, it just looks kind of incomplete. I don't know what it's all about, but I really love the colors, I love the fire, I love the Judas Priest logo right there. It looks all really classic in 2018. So this record is, kind of looks classical, but it actually is from this year, so it's the brand new record. We have 14 tracks overall. The record is 58 minutes long and 20 seconds. Yeah, and we start off with Firepower, really electric start to the record, really trashy. It's almost, it almost is a trash record in a way. I believe it's credited as heavy metal, but there are kind of moments on there that it kind of feels trash metal. Especially with Firepower, just storming out of the gate and just punching you in the face. And just, showing that Judas Priest still has it. That is mainly the thing with this record, that it isn't really, Judas Priest is one of those bands that really don't have to prove anything anymore to the world. They're one of the best, biggest and most, one of the tightest metal bands ever on the planet. So why would you make more records? But they still did that, and they still made Firepower, and I can really respect that Judas Priest still, rocks out like the best of them. In their 60s, late 60s, early 70s, I believe. So that is, that's really impressive. I can't even, express it how impressive that is. Then we have Lightning Strike, a really great follow-up to Firepower. Firepower is, by the way, just an explosive intro that just perfectly showcases the beginning of the Firepower record. Perfect, in my opinion. Lightning Strike goes a bit in the similar vein. It is kind of, more slower in a way. But still it's kind of trash. It is just really in your face. It just kind of feels like you're, getting hit by a lightning strike in a way. Really explosive track. Really, great production on the track as well. Arguably their best single. That is of course debatable, but I really love Lightning Strike. Then we get Evil Never Dies. This is a bit of a more sinister track. Yeah, this is definitely a bit of a more slower tune, even more slower than Lightning Strike, which was pretty fast. But Evil Never Dies shows the diversity on Judas Priest. Really, an other track and a diverse track than the others. Really sinister as well. It kind of reminds me of Merciful Fate in a way. Just really not doomy per se, but really evil sounding and really morbid in a way. Yeah, I have a bit of a cold, so there are gonna be some moments like that. Never the Heroes is another track that just feels really classical. If I hear this track, it kind of reminds me of the Screaming for Vengeance records. Just really old school metal. Just kind of feels like classic Priest, together with some trashy elements in a way. Really feels like that. Really classic stuff. Yeah, just really a throwback track. Yeah, and I highly recommend this track as well. Really great track. Shows the diversity on the album. Then we have Necromancer, and this is a bit of a more difficult track to get into, in my opinion. Still pretty good, but it just kind of feels like it's just, kind of wants to be trashy again, which I can appreciate, which is pretty impressive for a band to, that was originally hard rock heavy metal and later became a thrash band, kind of in a way with this record. So it's kind of impressive to see that Priest can still do that, and even can be thrash in a way. Well, they were speed metal in the '90s, but you know what I'm saying. But yeah, this is still a pretty interesting track, although it takes it takes a little bit too much of a risk, I would say. Still a really good song. I highly recommend it. The sixth track is Children of the Sun. Really enjoyable track, really catchy as well. Just kind of, throws me back to the British Steel era of the band. Just really catchy, really captivating. And basically, all of these tracks just kind of remind me of one of the records from Judas Priest, which is really, classic. It is just kind of a compilation record of the greatest tracks of Judas Priest. It just kind of feels like that, in my opinion. But Children of the Sun has just really catchy hooks, really catchy song in general. Pretty good title as well, Children of the Sun. Kind of reminds me of Children of the Grave or Children of the Sea by Black Sabbath. Great stuff. Reminding me of the classic days. Guardians is it just kind of feels like Priest is going with a power metal vibe with this track. Not per se the genre per se, but just kind of the theme, the epic nature of power metal. It kind of feels like that. With Halford screaming his heart out on this track, really just unique passages on there. Just really diverse moments as well. It's different from the first two tracks, Firepower and Lightning Strike's really, invoking album. Also a standout for me. Not my favorite, but it's up there. Rising from Ruins is a bit slower. We have some moments from Ian Frank Hill which are really great. The bass moments which really give it that ancient feel. That classic Priest feel with Rising from Ruins. Really great title. It just has this really epic build up with a lot of great instrument build up. And then just collapsing on you, just going all out, going all classic Priest. Just really great to listen to, great stuff. And this track just really feels classic as well, so it just perfectly fits in with this record. Flamethrower, the 9th track, is a bit different. It starts a bit of more weirder, I would say, with a pretty weird guitar line from Glenn Tipton, I believe, or Richie Faulkner, one of the two. I believe it's Glenn Tipton. But Glenn Tipton is, I believe, not. He is not touring at the moment because he had Parkinson's disease. I believe he had that, but He is not, touring with the band because of the reason, because of his disease. You know, I hope he's going well, of course. But Flamethrower is just a really weird track, I would say. It's a bit different from the other tracks. It's slower in pace. It has different instrumental passages on the track. You have to get used to that, I would say. It's a bit of a more weirder track, especially the vocals from Halford, which sounds a bit stranger, I would say. It's not bad, but you have to get used to it. Still really good song, I would say. But yeah, definitely a bit more weirder. Now here's a song that I really like, Spectre. Just a really trashy song, arguably the heaviest song of the record. Just really trashy, really fast. Just really great stuff. It's not too long, I believe it's only 3 minutes long. But this song just, proves that Priest still can, rock out again. And just, can trash their neck off with this track. Really great stuff. It's just, in your face. It's right there. It's just fantastic, I think. Traitors Gate goes a bit back to the storytelling of Priest, with Rising from Ruins. I believe that they're talking about passing the gate or something like that, or that people can backstab you or something like that. I'm not sure what's going on there, but Traitors Gate is still a really classical sounding song. Kind of similar to Rising from Ruins. So in that department, it isn't the most original song, I would say, but still, Priest can still prove that they are diverse and still prove that, that they, that they can have different elements to the record. By the way, Guardians is not an, I believe I said Guardians. Halford screams his heart out on the track, but it's an instrumental actually. It's a transition, so there we go. But Traitors Gate is still an interesting song, although it's a bit too long, I would say, but still a pretty classical sounding song. Then we have No Surrender. It's a bit of a more shorter track. This is one of the tracks I still really like, but it is just kind of there, I think. It sounds a bit chaotic, a bit cluster in my opinion. Still a decent song overall, but this track just doesn't fulfill me, or maybe if they left it of the track listing, nobody would really care. But they did, and it's not that I hate the track, but it's definitely one of my least favorites. Then we have a relatable track for me, the 13, which is Lone Wolf. Because I am. You really needed to know that, but this track is really consistent. It's 5 minutes long. Just a really interesting song. Kind of doomy in a way, well, not per se, but a bit slower. With having those, those build-ups and just that sinister vibe that the record really has, with especially Lone Wolf, just makes it for me, surely one of the best in my opinion. Probably goes down in the history books of Priest. Still having a track like Lone Wolf just, cements Judas Priest, one of the most consistent metal bands out there, really. And then we have the last track, which is Sea of Red. This is the 14th one. And this is what heavy metal bands used to do, was having a really acoustic, a really melancholic ending, which I really love, but it can be a bit predictable. But Priest, still has that element of the surprise. They have some really heavy moments on there, starting with acoustic and then having a bit of a more heavier ending, towards the middle section and the ending. So this is a really surprising track to hear from the band. Really a diverse track as well, so I cannot say too much bad things about this track, because it's really awesome. It's the longest track of the record, 5 minutes and 51 seconds. So all of the tracks were really consistent, nothing was too long or too short. Well, maybe, you know, No Surrender was kind of pointless, excuse me. I really have a problem here, but yeah, I still wanted to record. But yeah, that was the record. Yeah, I have a few minor notes for this record. Although I'm really satisfied with this record and really, I didn't really have expectations for the record. I just thought that Priest just, we're gonna fade into obscurity after a decent record with Redeemer of Souls, but not the classic stuff, not Painkiller by any means. This is not a Painkiller Part 2, of course. People that say it is, no. But it still is a classic album, in my opinion. Well, a modern classic in a way. And it's probably the best record that I've heard just, in the 2010s, at least in metal. So that is really, saying a lot, because, I listen a lot to music, but not a lot to modern stuff, so it's not saying too much. But yeah, saying that, you have to give it a high rating, of course. So I'm gonna give this, what should I give it? I'm gonna give it a 9.3. It's almost perfect, I think. It's really close to perfection, really. In my opinion, I think the Guardians instrumentals is a bit pointless, and No Surrender's kind of filler. But besides that, just everything was fantastic. Spectre was really fast and really fun to listen to. Traitors Gate was epic. Necromancer was also kind of a meh for me. But Firepower and Lightning Strike were really epic. Evil Never Dies has a really morbid vibe to it. Never the Heroes was the same length, really great. Children of the Sun was great. Rising from Ruins was epic. Flamethrower was special. Spectre was great. Traitors Gate was unique. Yeah, No Surrender was kind of meh in my opinion. Lone Wolf was really great. And Sea of Red was the perfect closure in my opinion. So that was my opinion about my review about the Firepower record by Judas Priest. In my opinion, close to perfection, really. Besides the track that I named. So let me know what you think about the Firepower record by Judas Priest. Really fantastic stuff right there. I really love it. Let me know what you think about the record. Maybe I'm gonna order it because, I do have some Priest records in my wish list. Well, mainly all of the records, up until Painkiller, because I really love the stuff. The Ripper Owens albums are alright, I guess, and everything after that was kind of good, I guess. But Judas Priest really consistent band, really legendary. So you already know this band, of course. They really don't have anything to prove anymore, but they still have made this kick-ass album. Check it out, Firepower. It's great. I love it. Yeah, really surprising because I thought Judas Priest are not gonna make a record like this anymore, but they did. So check it out if you haven't already. Really consistent and great record in a day and age of this, especially for such an old band like Judas Priest. From the 70s. For almost half a century later, making a record like this, it's really impressive. That is also why that is also the reason why I give it such a high rating, because it's not only a really great record, it's also a great record by a band that has been around like forever. So that is only the more impressive. I think. But let me know what you think about the Firepower record. Really great stuff. Let me know in the comments down below. I've been Ominous. Like, comment, subscribe to the channel Ominous for more videos like this one. Let me know what you think about this record. Absolute classic stuff right there, in my opinion. Let me know your opinion in the comments down below, and I will see you the next time. God bless, stay safe, take care, and peace.